Before dawn breaks over the Caribbean, one truth is already clear: no enemy should ever imagine threatening America's Navy. Yet on this morning, 3 Venezuelan fast attack patrol vessels came slicing out of the darkness at nearly 28 knots, rushing toward the U.S. carrier strike group like blades skimming across the sea. Their formation wasn't random. It cut directly across the projected path of the fleet, forming a bold, unmistakable barrier, an attempt to force the Americans to stop, turn, or back away. Aboard the USS George Washington, the collision alarm suddenly echoed through steel corridors. Radar screens glowed sharply as operators watched the distance collapse to under 12 nautical miles, far too close for coincidence. Venezuela wasn't patrolling. They were intercepting, declaring a stretch of open international water as their own and daring the U.S. Navy to react. But the carrier group didn't turn. Didn't slow. Didn't adjust by even a degree. Their answer was simple: freedom of navigation would not be compromised. The Venezuelan formation advanced with tight precision, the kind only practiced crews master. Their bows pointed not toward open sea, but straight toward the predictable path of the George Washington. Every second pulled them deeper into what naval analysts call attack geometry, the angle where a single turn could cut across a ship's bow and trigger a crisis. As the triangle tightened on radar, sailors aboard the carrier rushed to stations. Equipment clicked into place, radios crackled with status updates, and the low hum of tension filled every deck. For a vessel the size of a carrier, 12 nautical miles is a razor-thin safety margin. It cannot stop quickly. It cannot dodge. Anything entering that space forces a confrontation simply by positioning. Yet the American formation stayed calm, steady, unflinching. That calm didn't last long. The destroyer USS Gravely pushed its turbines harder and began sliding into a new angle. With cold precision, it placed itself directly between the Venezuelan ships and the carrier. There was no dramatic swerve, just a calculated move claiming the decisive position first. In naval combat, the ship that takes the angle controls the encounter. Above them, an MH-60R Seahawk launched into the sky, spinning into an unmistakable orbit over the destroyer. Its presence alone was a warning the entire Caribbean could see. No weapons pointed. No threat broadcast. Just pure visibility, deterrence through presence. But the Venezuelan ships didn't flinch. They didn't slow. Their wake stretched long and aggressive behind them as they pushed forward, ignoring every subtle cue the U.S. Navy provided. Instead of widening their angle or easing their speed, they kept their bows locked toward the American line. Then came the quiet shift, a language every Navy understands. The Gravely's 5-inch Mark 45 gun slowly rotated. Not aiming. Not locking. Just positioning. The close-in weapon system hummed as its sensors awakened in passive mode. Spy 1 radars listened across the sea. The entire destroyer entered a silent state of readiness, showing preparedness without escalation. Still, the Venezuelan formation advanced. 4 nautical miles. Uncomfortably close. Every wake, every vibration from their engines, every flicker of light on radar was now a potential trigger. The U.S. Navy transmitted a calm, open-frequency message reminding all vessels they were transiting a lawful international corridor. Venezuela didn't answer with radio. Instead, their lead ship hoisted maritime flags signaling territorial enforcement, a symbolic challenge meant to be seen, not heard. The Americans didn't respond. Didn't alter speed. Didn't acknowledge the flags at all. For nearly 3 minutes, silence ruled the sea. A silence heavier than weapons fire. Inside the Gravely, technicians analyzed engine signatures and confirmed what the helicopter saw from above: the Venezuelan ships were still running hard above 20 knots. Still pushing. Still committed. Until suddenly, they weren't. The lead patrol vessel eased its throttle. Speed dropped. Wake softened. The tight V formation loosened. Within seconds, all three Venezuelan ships began sliding east-southeast, peeling away from the American line in a controlled, almost reluctant retreat. The U.S. Navy didn't react. Didn't comment. Didn't change a thing. The George Washington held its course at 20 knots, steady as a heartbeat. The Gravely maintained its angle. The Seahawk continued its calm orbit overhead, documenting the Venezuelan pullback. No U.S. ship moved first. No system escalated. No shot was fired. Yet the outcome was absolute. Venezuela blinked. Their attempted blockade dissolved into the horizon, leaving behind only white trails fading across the morning sea. And the U.S. carrier strike group continued forward exactly as planned, unmoved, undeterred, unchallenged. In the end, it wasn't missiles, guns, or threats that won the standoff. It was presence. Discipline. Resolve. The same elements that make U.S. carrier groups the unmatched standard of maritime power. So imagine yourself standing on that bridge at dawn, three fast patrol ships rushing straight for you. Would you have held the line the way the U.S. Navy did? Tell us in the comments.